Hey, with us now from Capitol Hill, Democratic Senator from Montana and member of the Veterans Affairs Committee, Senator Jon Tester. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. With all that's come out over the past couple of years, shouldn't the head of the VA resign?
No, I don't think so. I think if you take a look at some of the things positive that's happened in the VA, and there's a lot to talk about from a positive standpoint, I think that they've done a pretty remarkable job if you consider all the folks coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan, doing right by the Vietnam vets. The injuries they're coming back with are pretty intense, especially the ones we can't see. I think that the VA is doing a pretty darn good job. Now, that being said, if one veteran dies because somebody screwed up on a wait list, that's far too many.
Well, first of all, I've got to say that there are a lot of veterans that would take exception to you saying, quote, the VA is doing a pretty good job. If you think the VA is doing a pretty good job, I think you may be one of the only people, not only in Washington, D.C., that think the VA is doing a good job, but maybe one of the very few people in America who believe that.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I've been around the state of Montana. I've talked to veterans for the last 7 years, and I'm not a veteran, but I've talked to veterans, and I can tell you that almost without exception, they truly appreciate the VA. They like the health care that it offers. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Does it need to be improved? Absolutely. And we need to work on that, especially when it comes to mental health issues. But overall, I will tell you that the VA, and I know it's in vogue right now to politicize everything that's going on with the VA, but the bottom line is we need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to find out if there was wrongdoing, and if there was wrongdoing, we need to hold the people responsible.
Well, I mean, it's not in vogue, with all due respect, Senator. There's been a waiting list that's just been extraordinarily long, and you've got parts of the VA that are actually cooking the books and possibly killing veterans.
We need to get to the bottom of that, but I will tell you, the waiting list, we knew was coming, it was coming, and I can tell you that this secretary has reduced it by 45%. That being said, it's being increased by 45% too, because we're having veterans come home from Iraq and Afghanistan as we wind these wars down. And I think it's good we're winding these wars down, but we've got to be realistic. The fact is that the waiting list was too long. Secretary Shinseki has made it a priority, and he's worked hard at it, and he's had success. In the meantime, what has Congress done? Well, we've had sequestration, and we've had shutdowns, and we've given anything but certainty to the VA. So when we see politicians out there bad-mouthing the VA, they're pointing one finger at the VA and three back at themselves.
Well,
that's exactly how it should be.
The vets are bad-mouthing the VA. I mean, we
come on this show and
on this show, Paul Rykoff, certainly no friend of Republicans through the years during the Iraq War or Afghanistan. Paul Rykoff is bad-mouthing the VA. He's not a politician, and there are millions of other veterans that, for some reason, don't share your rosy scenario of the VA.
Let me tell you, the VA has plenty of room to improve, but they do plenty of things right, too. I think if we want to focus on the negative and we don't want to focus on ways to improve the VA, then we'll be right where we are now, asking for resignations when we don't have all the facts. We need to get all the facts, and then we need to act appropriately.
Well, Senator, instead of focusing on the negative, let's focus on the now. You come from a big state. Let's talk about accessibility for PTSD treatment. You get in your car in Montana and drive for hours, some veterans, before they get proper treatment. What can you do about that? What should the VA be doing about it now?
Well, what we need to do is we need to get both in the VA and in the private sector more mental health care professionals out there. This could be the biggest issue facing this country over the next 20 or 30 years. What the VA is doing about it is they're trying to hire as many folks as they can to serve areas, both urban and rural. They're working on telehealth, which is critically important, and with some success, too, by the way. Even better success in eye-to-eye work that they've done with the folks that have PTSD and TBI. So, look, it is a big issue. I don't know that we got one psychologist east of Billings, Montana, and there's a big area between North Dakota border and Billings. So there needs to be more work done here. There is no doubt about that. It's deficient. All hands on deck to get it fixed.
All right, Senator Jon Tester, thank you so much for being with us. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't get it. I don't.
It was an outrage. Well, and you talk about.
I don't get that. I talk to veterans all the time.
They come on this show.
I talk to veterans all the time that wonder why Shinseki should still be there. They are killing vets in Phoenix. They are cooking the books. I don't know if he's lobbying for another facility in his state. I don't understand that.
Well, and he talked about a noble goal.
I'm sorry, that's one of the most remarkable disconnects, political disconnects, from a guy who I've always respected.
Well, he's a good guy.
I don't get that.
He's a good guy. His heart's in the right place. But reality is that the VA is just an incredible mess. It's an outrage that more senators, more congressmen go on the floor of the House of Representatives, the American flag lapel. We have to take care of our veterans, and they do very little.
And even Jim Miklashevsky came on here saying Shinseki, who he respected, who he covered a long time, doesn't get it. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. The guy should be gone. And I'm shocked that you've got a United States Senator saying that this is about politicians. It's about vets. Coming up next, Yankee great Willie Randolph joins us. Wow.